The following program contains scenes of violence, mature subject matter, and substandard acting. Viewer discretion is advised.
I'm Mike Arsenault, and welcome to Urban Self-Defense, the only show that discusses how you can take an active role in your own personal safety. We'll follow Jason Carter from Usafe Solutions through typical everyday situations to see how you can effectively deal with violence, aggression, and harassment. Today we'll follow Jason as he makes his way to a championship ball game downtown. Hey, buddy.
Hey, Mike. How's it going?
Not too bad, just cooking a little lunch.
Hey, I got a question for you. You want to go off to that Urban Baseball Championships?
I don't know.
What?
I'm kind of busy and I don't know.
No. I already paid for the tickets, but it's free. It's on me.
Okay, I'll see you there.
Excellent, excellent. Well, I'm almost at my bus stop. I'll talk to you in a minute, okay? Yep, bye-bye.
Hey, you got tickets, eh?
Yeah, I'm off to the game tonight.
Hey, who do you like to go?
Urban Underdogs.
Backyard, man, backyard bully.
No, Underdogs are gonna take it this year.
Underdogs? Oh no way, backyard bully is
No, Underdogs are gonna win.
Hey, can I have those tickets?
Well, no, but I gotta get going.
No, you just give me those tickets.
No, I said I gotta get going. I think I see it going.
You should give me those tickets.
No, but I don't think so.
Oh, bullies.
Hey, Jason.
Hey, Mike. I'm going to be a few minutes late, but you wouldn't believe what happened.
What happened?
Well, I was going to the bus stop there, to get a bus to your place, and I'm sitting there, and next thing I know, this guy beside me, I think he had way too much to drink last night from watching the game, started to more or less razz me, you could say, about how bad my team is.
Really? What? So he was a fan of the other team?
Yeah, definitely a fan of the other team. And at
was he being aggressive with it, or was he just kind of joking around?
Well, at first, he was just being, we'll say, an obnoxious drunk. And well, then he got really close to me and put his arm around me and really started to lay into me how bad my team was.
He put his arm around you while you were sitting on the bench?
Yeah, more or less leaning into me, taking all my space away. Then I tried to stand, and then he more or less forced me back down into my seat.
Was he a big guy?
Oh yeah, he was a big fella. So
he put his arm around you, then you tried to get up, and then he forced you back down?
Yeah, he forced me back down into my seat, and so I ended up having to do more or less an escape to get away from him.
Really? So, that would have been obviously pretty scary. You can't move. This big guy is pinning you to the bench. So how did you get yourself out of this situation?
Well, when he had his arm around my shoulder, I basically reached over, grabbed the palm of his hand from the opposite side, brought it over my head, and actually used it to use his own hand to strike him in the groin with it.
You used his hand to hit him, hit himself in the groin?
Yeah. That's
really?
why I hit him. Then that gave me the time to get up and kind of push him away a bit, and I'm out of there. And yeah, so I'm kind of walking to the next bus stop.
But if he was bigger than you, how are you able to use his arm as a weapon against himself, though? If he's a big guy, he's stronger than you. How are you able to do that?
Well, when I grabbed his hand, I turned it towards the sky, palm up, which puts a lot of pressure on his wrist, basically attacking the wrist joint. So he really has no grip. and then it was just a straight swing down because he's not resisting at that point, right down into the groin.
So he had no choice then, if he didn't want a broken arm or a broken wrist, he had no choice but to follow the path to his groin, I guess.
Exactly. And that gave me time to obviously to remove myself from my seated position and get out of there.
Was that the only shot you did? So you hit him once in the groin. Obviously, he's going to forget about you and think about the pain pulsating through his body. But was that it? You just the quick groin strike and then you got out of there?
Yeah, and pushed off against him. He didn't really, you know, obviously he wasn't hurting me. It was just more, he was drunk, obnoxious, really in my personal space, and I, obviously it wasn't pleasant. I had to remove myself, and he wasn't going to let me, because I tried to stand, and he pushed me right back down.
And I guess that's why you really wouldn't want to hit him or punch him, because I mean, he wasn't really trying to be violent. He's just a guy kind of invading your personal space, right?
Yeah, exactly. I didn't want to beat on the poor fella, so it was more or less, you know, get your hands off me, and I want to get away.
Well, hopefully he'll think twice again before approaching someone like that. I mean, who's drunk like that in the middle of the day? What is it, like 2 o'clock right now?
Yeah, I think he was watching the games last night and had a few too many. He was just on his way home.
Well, hopefully he's not there when we make it to the game this time.
Yeah.
So how far away are you now then?
Well, I'm coming up to the next bus stop now, so I shouldn't be too long.
Okay, and then I'll drive from here then, I guess, right?
No, I'll meet you. I can meet you there.
Hey, you again?
Oh.
I told you stay away from my barbecue.
Jason, I gotta go. No, it's bad.
Are those my burgers?
Okay. That was strange. Well, let's get to the bus stop. Did you know in the last 50 years, violent crime in Canada has tripled? Exercising urban awareness, like staying aware of your surroundings, will help keep you safe. There's a bank machine just up ahead here. We'll hit it up.
Jason, bank machines are for suckers. All those extra fees. I called my grandma. She's going to meet me down here. Give me some cash for free. Oh, there she is now. Hey, Grandma.
Hi, darling.
Hey, I remember her. I taught her some self-defense about a year ago. Hey, I think that's that Bullies fan from this morning.
Really?
Yeah.
That hurts you more than it hurt me.
I'm gonna call the police.
No, you're not.
That boy, you don't try to take no person first.
Grandma, okay, he's had enough. He's had enough.
Calling the police.
Oh, you're not.
Grandma, I think that guy's going to think twice about messing with you. Where did those moves come from?
Jason taught me last year.
When he showed you last year, that was some strategically placed shots there to the groin, to his forearm, and the back of the neck. You took the guy down, and then you're getting some extra shots there after Jason.
Because they don't want to fool with us old folks, I'll tell you.
I think he's learned his lesson. So now Jason, once Grandma took him down, he for some reason still wanted more. You brought your phone out to call the police, and he came at you because obviously maybe he has a record or something. He doesn't want the police involved. What happened?
Well, first and foremost, I get my phone out to call 911, get help immediately. But once he turned on me, I knew I had to do something. So since he has a knife, I had to do a quick distraction. So I gave up my cell phone, right? Threw it towards his face. That gets the hands up, and it gave me that moment of time to securely grab the hand with the knife.
So now, what is the point of throwing the cell phone? I mean, it's going to cost you money because the cell phone's broken now. You're going to have to get another one. But why would you throw it? Like, what is that just to kind of discombobulate him, if you will, and just kind of, so he's thinking at the phone coming at him, and then he forgets about the knife, and then you can kind of take the upper hand?
Exactly. If you ever had anything thrown at your face, first thing you want to do is get your hands up. It's a human reaction. So that's what I was counting on. I was counting on for that moment of that he would go, whoa, right? And that's the moment I was looking to seize. So I went right after, basically right after the knife hand.
So you had that opening and you go after the knife hand. So why are you keying? Because it is a weapon, so you want to key on that, neutralize the weapon before you deal with the body, I guess.
Exactly. The biggest thing I needed to worry about what he had was that knife. I didn't want to get stabbed. So I'm more concerned about the weapon. Get the control of that hand, hand with the weapon, get the weapon away from him.
But why would you put your hands towards the knife? Wouldn't that be, you'd be a little bit worried about getting cut? Like, you're trying to grab the wrist where the knife is, he could slice your hand there.
It is a risk, but again, I was hoping if that phone went up, if he didn't raise his hands up, I wouldn't have tried that, right? I wouldn't have went after that hand. I obviously would have tried something else. But since his hands lifted up, that gave me that moment to get in there and get a hold of that arm. And if I didn't get the hand, that's fine. Get a hold of the arm, because that controls that knife.
So you have that small window, you grab his arm, and then you just kind of use momentum and use leverage to bring him down?
From there, once I had good control of that hand, I was able to swing my shoulder over top of his elbow and put a lot of pressure downward on his elbow, causing downward force on his elbow, and then, which obviously attacks the integrity of his elbow.
So if he didn't follow you into the railing here, his arm would have broken, basically.
I could have broke his arm. Worst case scenario, exactly. So I forced him into the railing to take his space away. That gave me time to get the knife out of his hand, and then I was able to use what's called a wrist throw by still controlling that hand, turning his wrist basically against its grain, and taking him to the ground.
And same thing. So if he didn't comply with the movement to get him to the ground, the wrist would have broken.
Exactly.
So you had him on the ground, and then Grandma wasn't finished with him.
No, she wasn't.
A few more shots, which I think he's definitely going to think twice about approaching a senior citizen trying to steal a purse, which is great.
So.
But yeah, I mean, both you guys showed great form, both of you. Now, Grandma, Jason and I are on our way to the ball game. You think maybe I can get few dollars, maybe a hot dog and a beer or something?
First, it's the thug. Then it's my grandson wanting money.
All right,
How
Jason,
much do you need?
10.
Oh, well, $10. It's lucky I went to the ATM machine before I got here. I'll lend you the money. Notice that I said lend you the money.
Thanks, Grandma. I'll pay you back in a few years.
Yeah.
There was over 300 robberies in the city of London last year, so avoid carrying excessive cash or jewelry, and if possible, dress down while traveling or commuting. This will help keep you safe. Nice set of wheels, Mike. Where'd you get this?
Don't ask questions, Jason.
It's not your grandmother's, is it?
Hey, good to see you, boys. How much give me those tickets?
That's not part of the program.
Let's get out of here.
Hey, good to see you, boys. How much give me those tickets?
That's not part of the program.
Let's get out of here.
Jason, are we ever going to get to this game?
That was quite the situation.
It was. Two guys coming up at us. I mean, what are you supposed to do, really, when you have two guys cornering you in a confined space like that? Because really, you have nowhere to move, and you just have them basically enveloping your entire window. Like, what goes through your mind? Like,
well, you did the right thing. I see you've been listening and learning.
I have been. I've been paying attention to all these tips you've been giving me. So yeah, what I was just thinking, when he had his hands there, I'm thinking, he's a big guy, the car is in the way, so I'll pull him into the car and try and knock his head off the frame of the door.
Yes, it's safer for us to stay in this vehicle, right? As soon as we exit from the vehicle, we run a danger. So you did exactly what you need to do. You know, get him out of your face, right? Stop that situation, and you did that perfectly. You pulled him in off balance and pushed him away. Made that space so we were able to get away.
Well, even before that, I knew from what I saw you telling my grandma, you threw the phone, right? You threw the phone at him earlier today, and that's what I decided to do with the program, right? So he's not expecting that. It kind of discombobulates him there for a second.
Exactly.
And gives me the chance to grab his wrist, grab his forearm, and pull him into the car. Again, I banged his head off the top. And then I started thinking, well, what should I do next? Because he's a big guy, and again, even though he's in here, he could start hitting me, right? Or kind of choke the life out of me if he wanted to. So I thought of twisting his arm a little bit, use that leverage and momentum that you were talking about earlier, put that pressure on his arm so then he's going to comply with me.
Exactly. And as that was going on, the nice thing was, as soon as you threw that program up and you grabbed a hold of him, the gentleman on my side brought his attention away from me. For a split second, he looked away. So that gave me the ability to basically, I grabbed both of his arms, grabbed control of him right away, and I drew his forearm underneath and laced it over top of his other elbow, more or less tie him up. And from there, I was able, almost like yourself, I drew him into the vehicle, pushed him into the corner, made sure I had control of him. Then I was able to drive him away because I was putting pressure on the back of his elbow. He was going to comply.
So why did you want to create that X with his arms? Or was that just so he wouldn't be able to use them to strike?
Exactly. I needed to tie him up quick. And that's basically lacing the person's arm together. I'm using his one arm to basically attack the integrity of his other elbow. So he's actually locking himself up in that position. Gives you good control, gave me the control I required at that time to get him in and get rid of him.
So he had himself in a dangerous position. So then once you had him tied up and you could feel him kind of comply with you, you just kind of pushed him out of the way?
Same as what you, I pulled him in, pushed him away, made that space so we were able to get away.
Well, I didn't just push him away. I wanted to get another shot in for my grandma. Before I pushed him away, I gave him a little bit of an elbow right underneath the ribs there, make him think twice about coming after us again, and then I pushed him away. And luckily, we started the car and got out of there before they came back.
Exactly. And if you couldn't get away in time, first thing you want to do is get those windows up, right? That way they can't come back in at you.
Well, let's get into this ball game.
Yeah, it's been a long day.
Fears are on you.
Thanks, Mike.
Jason, finally made it here. Tight game right now, 2-2.
Yeah.
In the top of the second. It's been a crazy day.
It has been.
It started this morning when you gave me a call when I was barbecuing. The guy, what happened? The guy invaded your space, or what was going on?
I was on my way to take the bus to your place, and yeah, I sat down on the bench to make a quick phone call, tell you I was en route, and yeah, this guy came along. You could tell he was probably partying pretty hard last night watching the game, and as soon as you overheard my conversation with yourself about coming to the game today, and as soon as he heard that, well, he had lots to say, obviously.
So what should you do when someone invades your personal space? What are some tips maybe that people should be aware of?
First thing is, my hands were kind of full at the time. I try to situate myself and put some of my items down, right? So I could kind of discuss with him. At first it wasn't too bad. Yeah, he was drunk, he was a little obnoxious. But when he started to put his arm around me and really try to control my space, that's when I got a little more concerned. And I thought, so I tried to get up, because that's the first thing you should do, right? Try to remove yourself from that situation. And
but if that happens again, so what should you do going forward if someone does that? Like, what should I be aware of maybe if someone tries to invade my personal space?
Move away, make space, right? And that's what I was trying to do. As soon as he had his arm around me, now he's confined me. So I had to do something to basically get away, to remove his grip or his hand from around me. So if you're ever caught in a situation where you have limited space, when you are getting at your personal space crowded, get your hands up and move back. Make that space. If you physically can't move, you have to physically try to move them out of your way, right? Because again, open up that space is your safety. I've always believed that in a standing position, you want a 6-foot safety bubble. In a sitting position, at least a 3-foot bubble. And when he moved right beside me and put his arm around me, well, no more 3-foot bubble anymore.
Then after that, we saw my grandma.
Yep.
Same guy tried to take her purse, and then she gave him the business with her cane there. I don't think he'll be messing with her anymore. And then he came after you with a knife. So, I mean, what kind of goes through your mind? Someone comes at you with a weapon. couple tips maybe people should be aware of?
Give up what they want. In this case, he didn't want anything. He just wanted me not to call the police. And in most cases, if they're looking for your wallet, a purse, something, if you can't, give it up.
And you did. You gave it to me through the phone in his
Exactly.
face. So you gave him what you wanted, and it worked to your advantage as well.
Exactly. You know, with weapons, it's a pretty high level of aggression. That's why I've always believed, give them what they want, and if you can't, and if they want something beyond that, like in this case, you have no choice but to try to defend yourself.
And that's why the aggression level was escalated with your moves too. It wasn't just kind of the typical get away from him. You took him pretty hard into the railing and took him pretty hard down to the ground.
And unfortunately, in those cases, it's your only choice. You know, it was either defend myself or maybe get stabbed and end up in the hospital, or even worst case scenario, right? So in cases like that, give them what they want, try to get away, but in that case, I had to do something. I had to stop them. I had to get away.
And then we're still not at the ball game yet. We're still in the parking lot, parking outside, trying to get a spot. Two guys show up this time, and luckily we were able to get away. I remembered some tips that you showed me, and I did a little damage to the big fella. But in that situation, should we have maybe watched our surroundings more so we weren't caught off guard like we were?
Yeah, I think we were spending too much time discussing, you know, our excitement in the game, and that's a big thing. Parking lots, even just pulling in parking, can be dangerous. Look around. You're not just looking for people that might hurt you, but you're looking for someone stepping out from between cars and things like that. So keep your head up, watch your surroundings. And again, if someone comes to you in your vehicle, if you can, put your window up. If your window's all the way up, they tap on, want to talk to you, only put it down a little tiny bit, just enough for that conversation line. Keep your doors locked until you know it's safe to proceed out of your vehicle. Because once you're inside that vehicle, you are fairly safe.
Well, we finally made it here, Jason. Let's settle in, watch the rest of this game. It's hard fought. Why don't you get those beers? I'll cheer the boys on. Come on, boys, here we go.
Let's go, let's go. I'll be right back.
We'll follow Jason Carter through typical everyday situations.
I was waiting for that. I saw that cat coming up. You see back.
Hey, you again? I told you to stay away of my... Well. Hey, what are you doing?
Jason, no, I gotta go. Oh, it's bad.
Is this my barbecue? Hey!
Talk to you later.
No, I shouldn't look at the camera. I told you, stay away from my barbecue.
You're a bad boy. I enjoyed it.
It was good, so always remember, gal,
Yes.
groin,
Remember.
arm, leg.
Right. All right.
Nice set of wheels, Mike. Where'd you get this?
Why did you pause?
I don't know why I paused. My brain does that at times. Just pause. One more time.
Get a birdie.
Squirrel!
Hey, good to see you guys again, boys.
Whatever. There's no audio anyway. We're still good. Whatever. Get those tickets.
Come on! Good to see you again, boys. How much you give me those tickets?
Was that good enough?
Let's get out of here. Batman! What's your name?
Damn it. I'm cool guy. Stop anytime.